1 second. All right, very good. All right. Let me have Mr. Hawkins, if you could state your name for the record.
Gregory Hawkins.
Good morning, Mr. Hawkins. You are in our virtual courtroom. Do you agree to have your hearing by way of Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. And then Chaplain Gudis, if you could state your name for the record.
Sure. Chaplain Larry Gudith, Gudith.
Gudis. Okay, thank you so much. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Cleveland, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Toshi Cleveland, case manager for Mr. Gregory Hawkins in 36th District Court, Specialty Court.
Wonderful, thank you, and good morning, Miss Cleveland. All right, for Mr. Hawkins, I have the following case number. I have case number 1704547801. Mr. Hawkins, how are you this morning?
Fine, Judge Holmes. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. How are you feeling overall?
Feeling good. I feel a lot better about myself.
You are. Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm playing with the program, getting a new look on on my recovery. Being here, managing has been a positive stroke for me in my life. Taking a look at how I can better my court, with the push of the court, with your help.
Okay, and so, Mr. Hawkins, we had an opportunity to staff your case on yesterday, and the report that we've received from Mariners Inn is that you're just doing okay with your progress.
Yes.
And so, I want to hear from you. I know that you've had some conversation about wanting to transition back to your apartment. I asked Ms. Cleveland to get some recommendations on that. Because when I hear that your progress is just okay, what I want to make sure is that we don't put you back in an environment that is not conducive to continue your sobriety and to keep you on a path of recovery. And I understand that, you want to get home, you want to get back to your regular business, but some of that regular or familiar is what has been a part of the issue. And so I want to know your feelings about that.
Um, my outlook is I have a lot of support with my family. I have a good recovery coach with Mr. Killing at Project Recovery. My apartment is a senior citizen place. It's real positive there. Um, it ain't no, drug related or nothing like that. It's people, senior citizen that's trying to live a normal life. It's was it independent living, and I just feel comfortable at my apartment.
I understand that, but if comfort and recovery are not on the same page, then my job is to make sure I keep you on the path, do what I can do on my end, because ultimately it's up to you to keep you on the path of recovery. And so that's what I'm working toward. And that's the balance that I have to keep. And sometimes that's a hard call, Mr. Hawkins. It is. It's a hard call. It really is. So I do want to hear from Chaplain Gudith, and then I'll hear from you, Miss Cleveland. Chaplain Gudith, what would you like me to know on this morning?
Well, Your Honor, I feel 29 days is the start to recovery. Now, he was incarcerated, so he's got around 60 days clean. That's not an awful lot of clean time. I think structure is still very, very important at this stage. He's determined. There's no question about that. He's determined to tackle this, and I can understand the anxiety and the desire to be back in your familiar environment. But I still believe structure is very important, And I believe that Mrs. Taylor, his social worker, also feels along the same line.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Cleveland?
Good morning again, Your Honor. I am in agreement with Chaplain Gouda. And also I did have a conversation with Ms. Taylor. She did let me know that his tentative out date from the facility is November 17th, 2020. She also we talked together about some kind of plan for him when he does transition out of the facility, and she is recommending services be conducted and remain at Mariner's Inn. However, just listening to Mr. Hawkins today, I'm hearing that he is making a plan for himself as far as what he would like to do, or his approach to his eventual or substance abuse treatment outside of Mariner's Inn. That causes me some concern, because I would like us to stay connected and engaged with Mr. Hawkins. I would like the professionals to make a good plan for him, as opposed to him deciding himself what plan he would like to pursue. And I think that's going to be very influential on how he progresses step by step in this program.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree. And so, Miss Cleveland, is there a transitional program at Mariners Inn that Mr. Hawkins can participate in?
It's my understanding that they do have transitional living space there. I know that I have another client that's there. He's on a very good path as well, doing very similar to what the services are provided to Mr. Hawkins. I would just have to ask Miss Taylor, who she's not present on the screen. I don't know if Chaplain Gouda can weigh in on this, but I would have to ask if they would allow him, some temporary residence there until, as he incrementally moves along his path.
I can add to that. In our program, we have the first 29 days is our stage one. And then he has the opportunity with successfully complete program one to advance to our 120-day transitional housing program. And what that is our recovery, I should say recovery housing, not transitional, but recovery housing, where he would still get the counseling that he needs. He would have a certified recovery coach assigned to him. And he has a little more freedom in that program, but he still has an awful lot of structure. He has to attend the counseling, the small group meetings, the AA meetings, and then we come up with a plan for transitioning into his housing environment. He also, at that point, can become part of our alumni program and still be connected to the Mariners Inn and still attend the events and the meetings we have here. It's just a really nice transition from the standpoint that it extends the structure. And I'm really big in regards to having people have that structure. I personally like to have 1 year, because in recovery, every season has its particularities going on. And I think you can benefit from that situation. As far as availability in that, I would have to have Ms. Taylor get back with that, but I'm sure we can work something out.
Okay. All right. Very good. Mr. Reed, Mr. Vikings, let me hear from you. His tentative out date, remember, is November 17th. So that would be next week, actually a week from today, next week, Tuesday. So his tentative completion with phase one. And thank you, Chaplain Good, for that insightful information. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. Jesse Reed, Drug Court Defense Attorney. One of the goals of drug treatment court is eventually independent living for our participants. And from what I'm hearing, Mr. Hawkins may not be ready to go into independent living. I understand that Mr. Hawkins is a retired gentleman. He has a source of income. But I would go along with the professionals. If he needs some more recovery, then Mariners Inn might be the place for that to take place. So, Judge, I would concur with whatever the recommendation is of the experts in this case.
All
Thank you,
right.
Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Mr. Fikens?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, I too yield to professionals. They know much better than I. All I can recommend to Mr. Hawkins is, sir, we're framing this for you in a way that you can recover and do the best possible recovery you can. And we don't want to expose you unnecessarily to triggers that will cause you to relapse. We really want the best for you. The professionals are seeking the best for you, and this won't last forever. It's just take it day by day, and we'll get through this together. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Hawkins, I'd like to hear from you, having heard what, and it looks like you've kind of disengaged from the hearing. You're looking away. That concerns me. We're talking about you, and I expect you to be engaged. I really do. And while I understand that what you're hearing may not be what you want to hear, but you have to understand that there are professionals in place who have studied in this area, who have served in this area, who have been trained in this area. And the reality is if you knew what was best for you, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. We had been on a path of what we thought was recovery for some time with you when you walked away before. And so we know we have to do something different. And so I want to do something different because what I can't guarantee, Mr. Hawkins, is that every time you walk away, is that you'll come back to us or that we'll find you. That's a roll of the dice, especially when you walk away and we've not gotten you on a path where you realize that you can utilize the tools that are available to you to help you overcome your addiction. And so that is why I'm proceeding with caution. And so I'd like to hear from you if there's something else you want to say to the court.
Well, this path of recovery is nothing new for me. I'm at a point in my life where, I'm truly sick and tired of it. At the age I'm at, I want to, better and move on with my life. I want to, put this behind me, get this behind me. And I believe I have a lot of support with my family and with God. And I got the willingness to do this. It wouldn't be no, you got to want it. And I want it. And I just feel that I can do it this time.
And I get it. And so if you really want it, Mr. Hawkins, if you really want it, then you're going to be willing to work it. That's just the reality of it. And if you really want it, it's not, I want it, but it's got to be my way. It's going to be, I want it, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I want it. Okay. And so I'm going to err on the side of caution and yield to the professionals who have made the recommendation that you do need some transitional living. And so that's what I'm going to do. I want him, when he's finished with phase 1, Ms. Cleveland, he's to go to the transitional living. So let's work with Ms. Taylor about securing that spot for him at Mariners Inn. And let's see what you do in transitional, that you're going to do your counseling and see your recovery coach and and be able to operate within that. It's going to be a level of freedom, but it's freedom with structure. And so let's see how you operate. Let's see how you attend your classes and all of those things, so that when you do transition home, this is not going to last always, that you'll be ready. You'll be ready to thrive in the environment where you live. Okay?
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
All right. And so, Miss Cleveland, that's my decision. Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens. And so, Miss Cleveland, if you can make that happen, working with Chaplain Gudith and the staff at Mariners Inn, Miss Taylor, and just let me know how that goes. But he's not being released from Mariners Inn.
Yes,
So
Your Honor.
we still have a few days, a good, 5 or 6 days to work it out. And so I'm going to do a return to court date for Mr. Hawkins of, are we open on November 24th?
I'm
That's the Tuesday.
not sure. Yes, I think we are
Should
though.
be. Okay. Miss Drew, I had to mute you all. I was having some trouble hearing. So am I able to schedule my docket for the 24th?
Yes, you are.
All right, wonderful. So I'm scheduling Mr. Hawkins for November 24th, 2020 at 9 o'clock a.m. Anything else for my consideration?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hawkins, if you could look up so you can engage. I do want to tell you that I'm very proud of the fact that you have, for the last 29 days, stayed at the facility and you have been working the program. And so you know how long you've been using, and it's going to take more than 29 days to get you on track and to keep you on track. And so I am very proud of the fact, because you could have just been there and did nothing. I'm proud of you that you worked the program these past 29 days. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. All right. Hang in there. I'll see you in 2 weeks and we'll go from there. If nothing else, thank you, Chaplain Gudith, for being with us today, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Thank
My
you, Your
pleasure,
Honor.
Your Honor. Have a blessed week.
All right. You do the same. Thank you. All right. I see that there is a Mr. Adams on my docket. And so is Mr. Adams, if you could unmute yourself. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
State your full name for me.
Joe Edward Adams Jr.
All right, Mr. Adams, you are in our virtual courtroom. Do you agree to have your hearing by way of Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wonderful. I have the following matter: 1-205-736-901 for Joe Adams. Mr. Adams, before you proceed, Ms. Fields, I don't know if I said good morning to you. Thank you for serving on today. If I failed to tell you thank you this morning, I appreciate it.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right. All right. Mr. Adams, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing better.
Okay.
Better.
I'm sorry.
I said it could be better.
It could be better. What could be better? Tell me about it.
It's just personal things.
Some personal things. All right. Are you working through them?
I have no choice, but yes.
Okay. We always have choices. We might not have any, we might not want to suffer the consequences of bad choices, but we always have a choice.
Well, not necessarily in these choices. It's just more so like, how can I put it? Financial, living, jobs, and then just the simple fact that any day, any moment now, I'm expecting twins. So.
Oh, wow. Did we know that you were, yeah, I have that in my notes. Twins on the way. Yes, sir. All right. And so I know that you have only been with us for a short time. What do you think so far?
So, so far everything's been up here pretty good. My counselor down in Detroit on recovery project, Mr. Burks, I think he was out last week, so we weren't able to meet. But he's been pretty helpful as far as just giving me a different aspect of looking and seeing things that I kind of saw him, but didn't see it necessarily the way he was putting it, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Okay. And how did you feel about seeing things from a different perspective?
Well, it was we kind of had the same perspective. It was just the knowledge in which and how he gave it to me is like I never thought of it that way. And I didn't even know that, where it's just certain knowledge that was just given to me where it was just like, you know what? I do fall into that category.
All right. Very good. So you find the sessions with Mr. Burks to be helpful?
Yes.
Wonderful. Very good. Have you been showing up for your testing?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful. No issues?
No issues, but as in I had told Miss Robs prior, before I even started back testing that, I was probably going to be dirty for a little bit. She said, I understand all that. That's why you're in the program, but the whole point is from this point on, you have to do what you have to do. So I've been regularly scheduled up there calling, showing up to my test, and I just went yesterday. So
Okay. Very good. Very good. Let's see. I know that you were full-time employed. How's the employment search going?
it's going slow. I apply, I go in, I have interviews. They always say that, well, we'll let you know when we'll get back with you. Then you either get that little email, well, we appreciate your opportunity, we've gone a different direction, or I just don't hear anything. And I always look at it, when you don't hear anything back, it's not like going to the hospital. When you don't hear anything back, that's bad news, or that's just no news at all.
Got it.
But
Got it.
Mr. Burks did up here did excuse me, even though he was saying he wasn't necessarily supposed to at this early in the stage, but with my situation, he's saying what you expecting twins, you having 4 kids, and then with this, you got to do something. So he kind of gave me a number to an individual to call, and up here said they were doing a little. He was up here looking for people, and I finished filling all the forms he wanted, gave him the information. So I'm just going to see how that turns out. But I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped, looking. I haven't stopped applying. Just try to stay optimistic and not get down on myself and get depressed or anything else, and not let anybody else tell me my self-worth or how I should feel as a man or anything else.
Very good. And I was going to also say to you, um, it is usually in phase one. We don't, we have some job leads. And so we want phase one for the individual to work on themselves, but it's a case by case basis. And so, Mr. Yancey, I would like you to, as long as Mr. Adams testing is, he sounds like he's doing what he's supposed to do. Let's connect him with some of the job leads that we have. I don't know if they're still available because some of them are dated, but
I'll check that.
yes, but to the extent that they are, let's do that. I know I usually say wait until phase two, but if we could, for Mr. Adams, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay. And so that way, always having a backup plan, just in case, the thing with Mr. Burks does not work out. Okay.
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 All right. Very good. Very good. What have you found to be the most challenging part of the program so far, Mr. Adams?
To be strictly honest with you, my thing has been more so that's I don't really need idle time, so
Okay.
to speak, because idle time and just having nothing to do, it kind of leads you into, well, why can't I just do this, or why can't I do that? I'm not doing anything and just trying to keep myself as occupied, or my mind and everything else just attended to doing something.
Oh, thank you for your honesty. When I say that to some people in the program, they tend to kind of disagree with me, but that idle time can sometimes be a humdinger. And so hopefully we can get you back up working. You're working the program, you're going to your counseling sessions, you're doing your testing. I think Mr. Yancey said that he did refer you to Narcotics Anonymous. Were you able to connect and start those meetings?
No, not just yet. Because
Okay.
originally Mr. Burke says he does his meetings on Thursdays on West Grand Boulevard between 5 and 7, which I told him I'll attend some of those, but also wanted to see if there was a way I could do a couple of virtual meetings here and there, because it might be more convenient, especially if I up here start back working as soon as possible.
So here's the thing, the meetings are mandatory,
I understand.
a minimum of 2 per week. So if you can't make it to Mr. Burke's, you have to start the virtual meetings immediately, because you're going to hopefully get some insight and some takeaways from there as well. Okay. So I
Okay,
need you to start those immediately.
that's not a problem, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. Is there anything that you need us to help you with, Mr. Adams?
At this moment, no. At this moment, no. I'm just not saying that I can't use the help, but if I just rather try, I just before I have to come asking for help, I like to try all avenues on my own first. That way, it shows my own initiative being put forward, and people are a lot more willing to help when they see that, okay, you're taking initiative and you're trying, and then it's like, okay, well, he's doing his best, and we're still seeing he has an issue. Let's see if I can help first. So before I ever get to that point, because I'm nowhere near up here feel like I've beat it or I can't do this on my own, which I feel like I can, but at the moment, just try to give me a moment and see how this goes. You see,
All right.
if that makes any sense.
We'll try.
Probably like if it does, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we'll try it your way. I just want to make sure you know that we can't help with things that we don't know about, and that we're here. We may not always have the answers, but we have a team. And so generally we come together and we do pretty good. And so I want to make sure you know that's available to you. Okay.
I understand because I was going to more so say, if anything, if nothing has changed by the next time I come before you, then most definitely I would come forward and ask for some help.
Okay.
Because
Very
I
good.
think that should be more applicable enough time where I should be able to change the situation around, and plus by then my daughters will be here, so I'll be twice as motivated.
All right. And you having girls. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Very good. Mr. Yancey.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Adams, this is his first court hearing. He's hanging in there. He's doing his testing. I think what he was referring to is it takes a while for the cannabis to leave the system. But other than that, his screenings are good. He's connected with Mr. Burke. It seemed like a good connection. So he just has to get the virtual NA meetings going, and he'll be off to a good start.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yancey. Be sure to check your chat. Mr. Reed, Mr. Fikens.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Adams, you had a good report today. I realize that you're new to the program. Don't get overwhelmed. Those NAAA meetings are offered 24/7 all over the world. Just find an English-speaking place and zoom in. We're proud of you. Keep up the good work. We understand it's not an easy program, but you're off to a good start. Thank you, Mr. Adams. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, if I might add, Mr. Adams, I thought having one child at a time was hard enough, but now you're having two at a time. Man, I'm proud of you. But more importantly, sir, it's obvious to me that you're an intelligent, thoughtful man. You are going to get employed. I know that. I sense it. I know it. Keep up the great work, sir. We're proud of you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If you don't have any questions for the court, Mr. Adams, your return to court date would be November 24th, 2020 at 9 o'clock, and it will be in our virtual courtroom, okay?
No problem, Your Honor. I will definitely be there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. I am ready on Mr. Howell. Mr. Howell, if you could turn on your camera, and if you could unmute yourself. I'm sorry, Ms. Fields, I hit the wrong thing. All right. Mr. Howell, good morning.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, state your name for the record.
Joshua High.
All right, Mr. Howell, how are you this morning?
I'm fine.
That's good. I'm glad to see you. You are in our virtual courtroom. Do you agree to have your hearing by way of Zoom?
Yes.
Wonderful. I have the following matter, 200-564-2301 For Joshua Howell, Mr. Lorenz, your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Lorenz, case manager for 36th District Specialty Court.
All right, good morning. I know that this is not Mr. Howell's usual day, so Mr. Lorenz, I'll have you update us.
Your Honor, today we are here for a scheduled court review with Mr. Howell. As you were made aware last week, Mr. Howell did, after the last court hearing, he was charged with a concealed weapons charge. He is, as you always say, he's innocent until proven guilty. He has his next hearing on November 20th. Currently, as far as his screens go, he missed 2 while in jail. And then on 11/5, he tested positive for THC. And he actually did 2 that day, Your Honor. He did 1 at ATS, and then he also had an appointment with his provider, Deja. She tested him, and he was positive for THC, but she was able to send it to the lab and get a level. He's at 78 nanograms. That has come down since October 6th, where he was at above 200. So he is almost clean. He has completed 18 hours of AANA sessions, and he is compliant with Miss Willis and his providers at Team Wellness. He is doing his 3 times a week appointment. At this time, my recommendation is a little bit different than we last spoke in staffing. Originally, we had said that if he continued to test positive up to his next hearing, that we would ask that the court order him to pay the levels. But since it continues to go down and he is almost clean, I think he should hopefully be clean in about another week. I would ask that the court be lenient and give him another time frame for 2 more weeks to be clean instead of paying the fees, Your Honor. Other than that, continue with Team Wellness, continue drug testing at ATS, and continuing to work on his AA meetings.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howell, did you hear your report today?
Yes,
You had a great report.
thank you.
You're doing well.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I know it hasn't been easy, has it?
No.
I know it hasn't, because life is still happening, right? Yeah, and there's a couple of other things that have been added to your plate. But guess what? You're still working it. You're still doing what you're supposed to do. Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling good. They gave me this new medicine called Howell and Trazodone. It's been having me real sleep, but it's cool though. It's cool. It just had me real drowsy. It got me feeling better though.
You're feeling better, but you're sleepy and drowsy. Did you tell the doctor about how it's making you feel?
Yeah, I told her, but I really didn't want to tell her because I didn't want her to change it because my paranoia is leaving now. We're not leaving, but I'm not looking out the window. I'm not trying to leave the window crack because I feel that somebody trying to get me, or I don't have to keep my headphones on to go to sleep because I feel like somebody's standing there watching me. All that's leaving now. I'm able to go to sleep, but I'm just sleeping a little too much.
Okay. All right. So, you know, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I'm glad to hear that some of those symptoms that they're leaving, but I do want you to communicate with the doctor, okay? And they may determine that this is the level we need to have you at right now, and we'll look at adjusting it later. But just want to make sure you're having some open communication, because sometimes people get discouraged when the side effects are not, you know, what you planned on, and they'll just stop testing. And I don't want you to do that, okay?
I can't afford that.
All right, very good. You are going to your meetings. Tell me what's going on with your meetings.
I like my meetings. I got a couple people in there that I look forward to hearing from. Good. And they be having some good stories.
Good. Are you talking in the meetings as well, Mr. Howell?
Yeah, but it's like very rare because there's so many of us at a time. They can't really call on everybody, but when I do get a chance, I do speak.
All right, very good. I'm so glad to hear that you're in compliance with Daisha, Miss Willis. And are you seeing Dr. O? Is that who you're seeing?
Yes, Dr. Olson.
All right, and so you're in compliance. I'm glad to hear that. Do you find that the treatment is helpful to you?
Yes.
All right, very, very good. What do you need us to help you with, Mr. Howell, if anything?
Some bus tickets because I've been having problems with these rides. I can't really get the rides like I'm supposed to.
All right, and so thank you for letting us know. And Mr. Lorenz, we have, do we have bus tickets available? Bus
Yep.
car?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're gonna get you some. How about that, Mr. Howell?
That'll be good.
There you go. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Look, you look good today. You look
Ah,
better. I said you look good today.
thank you.
You look better. You look like you're doing well. And so if it's working, continue to do it.
Yes.
All right?
All right.
You have any questions for me?
Nope.
All right. Now, Mr. Lorenz, 2 weeks would take us to the 24th, which is a Tuesday. It should be Wednesdays. I need someone to tell me, are we scheduling cases on that Wednesday?
Yes, Your Honor. Last I knew we were because we have another individual already scheduled for the 25th.
All right, so the docket is not closed, Ms. Drew, on the 25th? Ms. Drew?
No, ma'am, yeah, the 25th is open, the docket is open.
Okay, very good. Then we'll schedule you for the 25th of November. And that would be at 10:30. Remember, we don't start until 10:30 on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay? Until then, you don't have to wait if you need us. You can always dial into the courtroom. I know Mr. Lorenz is available to you. You can reach out to Mr. Lorenz, Miss Willis, the whole team. We're here to help you, okay?
Okay.
All right, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
All right, take care. I'll see you
Take
on
care,
the
Mr.
25th.
Howell.
You too.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lorenz.
Yep.
All right, I am ready to proceed with Mr. Richardson. Mr. Richardson, if you could unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear us?
I can. Mr. Richardson, would you please state your name?
Desi Richardson.
Good morning, Mr. Richardson.
Good morning, ma'am.
You are in our virtual courtroom. Do you agree to have your hearing today by way of Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Who do you have with you this morning?
I have my counselor, Miss Hall.
Ms. Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Hall, do you mind placing your name on the record?
No, I don't mind. My name is Rhonda Hall. I'm his,
I can barely hear you, though.
okay, my name is Rhonda Hall. Can you hear me now?
It's still, I can hear Mr. Richardson, but I'm having a hard time. Can you all hear Ms. Hall?
No. Okay, let me come over.
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
I'm
now.
gonna talk loud and clear.
Tell me your name again.
It's Rhonda Hall, and I'm his case manager.
You're his case manager. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
is this with Volunteers of America?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. We're so glad you're with us today because I think I had some questions in staffing. I'm sure Ms. Robs will tie it all together for me.
She will. Uh-huh.
All right. Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. How is Mr. Richardson doing?
He's doing good. Well, mentally he's doing good. Physically, not so good, because he had to go in the hospital a couple days ago.
I heard he had a hospital stay.
Yes.
But he's back and he's back in the swing of things.
He's trying to get in there. He got a lot going on with the medical, but he's trying to pull it all together.
All right, and you all are still willing to work with him in spite of the medical challenges?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. We are so appreciative of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. All right, let me place a case number on the record and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I have case number 20057235501 for Desi Richardson. Mr. Richardson, I want to hear from you. How are you doing?
With the exception of feel like a screwdriver sticking me in the back with these cracked ribs. Doctor got me bedridden. But I'm having some challenges. I contacted the people at the VA. They supposed to send somebody to assist me. Also, I found out, which is, I thank Ms. Hall so much, what she did for calling the emergency crew, because come to find out, when I got to the hospital, my sugar levels was 700.
Oh
So
my.
now they have me 5 times a day on a regimen of insulin shots. And I have to have someone to assist me with that because I've never used insulin before, ma'am. And so it's a lot of counting and keeping track of stuff. And it's just, it's sort of overwhelming, but I'm trying to handle the challenges. I've done what I possibly could do as far as my testing. Also, while I was in the hospital for several days, I refused to take any kind of narcotics. So I'm accepting this pain, so to speak, in the raw. Because I didn't want no drugs, no narcotics in my testing. So I refused the hospital, and then I made sure they put it on record that I refused any narcotics that they wanted to give me for the pain of these ribs and my back. 50-foot ladder fell on my back after it fell off the power lines. So I'm trying to do the best I can, Your Honor. I haven't had a chance to meet with the gentleman over at VA in the class, but I am willing. I've met with the NA substance abuse instructor here at Volunteers of America.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, first, I'm glad that you're safe.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
back in one piece. You got some injuries, but you're back in one piece. I also applaud you for taking ownership of the fact that while I don't want you to be in pain, I do know that there are non-narcotic pain relievers that the hospital can prescribe for you. It's not common because most people are so accustomed to getting the narcotics because they work so fast and they're easily accessible. But I know that there are non-narcotics, okay, for pain medicine. And so let's make sure, because I don't want you in pain, because pain can cause other issues, right? It can cause your blood pressure to fluctuate and all of those things. And so I want to make sure that you understand there are other pain relievers available to you that are non-narcotic, okay?
Yeah.
All right, very good. How are they treating you at Volunteers of America?
Well, yes, ma'am. They're trying to accommodate me, and
Okay.
my main thing is making sure that whoever VA sends here, that they're able to get to me, because this is basically a setting for all men. And because of the virus, they very sort of reprehensive of people coming in the building.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm trying to, they're trying to accommodate me as much as they possibly can. And I
I
appreciate
understand.
everything that they're doing for me.
I understand that because as you know, we are still in a pandemic, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we are not in the clear. We may be acting like we're in the clear, but we are not in the clear.
We
And
most
so
definitely,
I
because I lost a
appreciate,
family member to the
yeah,
virus.
sorry to hear that. Yes, yes. And so I'm glad that you're there. How are you doing with respect to staying clean and sober? How's that
Ye-
coming?
Yes, ma'am. It's coming good. It's getting to be like almost a year that I've been clean, and uh, I asked God to take the taste out of me, and He's done so. You know, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't drink, I don't do nothing. So,
Okay.
and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to my God, and I'm thankful for the people that I've surrounded myself with now. They're
Yes.
more positive.
Yes, very good, very good. And so I want to go back. You said you're now taking insulin. So before you had no idea that you had issues with your sugar?
Well, ma'am, I was hypoglycemic. That means my sugar, 1 minute it might be up, the next minute it might be down. So
Yeah.
they had me on the pill. But now, since it was so high when I went into the hospital, they put me on a regimen of insulin. So I have to shoot 5 times a day.
Okay. How's that going, Mr. Richardson?
Oh man, ouch, ouch. I'm trying to keep up with it, man. I'm the best that I can until I get some assistance.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. All right. Miss Robs, good morning. State your name for the record, Miss Robs.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ebony Robs, Veterans Treatment Court Case Manager.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Richardson was admitted into Veterans Treatment Court October 27th, 2020 for a contract term of 12 months for a charge of license plate registration title, unlawful use. His drug of choice is crack cocaine and alcohol. He's currently in phase 1. As per report, Your Honor, he is at Volunteers of America and on the record with Ms. Hall, who's his case manager. His branch of service, Your Honor, is the Army. He will be linked to Mr. Parker to be his veterans mentor. He has been, I did receive 2 tests, 2 urinalysis testing from Ms. Hall. There was some miscommunication. We were able to clarify that one today, Your Honor. He was negative for the result. I received one for October 30th, where he was negative, as well as for November 8th, where he was negative. As per report, Your Honor, he was hospitalized at Henry Ford Hospital. I do have the discharge paperwork. Ms. Hall was able to provide those for me. We did talk, Your Honor, there was some misunderstanding. We were able to clarify in regards to his treatment going forward in terms of what is recommended per his contract for his 2 times a week individual therapy and group sessions. He was also linked, Your Honor, to Mr. Kashiri for veterans, for the VA. It's just a matter of Mr. Richardson responding back and answering the phone. He should be receiving some additional services that will assist, Your Honor, in terms of his testing. We're trying to see if the VA will assist in that area, as well as additional services, as Mr. Richardson is at the Volunteers of America for transitional housing, as his status is homeless. He did report to me today, Your Honor, that he has done 3 Narcotic Anonymous meetings. And we do need to get on track in terms of his contract, but we do understand, I did talk to him today as well as Ms. Hall, and understanding that he did have some medical issues that kind of impeded on his progress, Your Honor. So asking today, Your Honor, that just it be stated on record that for clarity that we're moving forward, that by the next court date, Your Honor, Mr. Richardson will be on track with his meetings, his testing, and his group and individual sessions.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Robs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Hall, is there anything else that I need to know from the perspective of being Mr. Richardson's case manager? Anything you need the court to help you with to keep him on track?
No, we just got to keep up with him getting into these court sessions. That's all. But we coming along with that.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. We certainly appreciate it. And so I'd like to hear from the attorneys.
Oh, yes, thank you, Judge. Mr. Richardson, we didn't have much contact with you because you had retained attorney during the intake procedure, but it's good to hear from you. It appears that you're in a good place. I'm sorry about all the medical issues, but you're doing a good job. Stay safe. You're in a good location. We're proud of the work that you're doing, and thank you for your military service. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Thank you, Judge.
And
Thank you,
Your
sir.
Honor, if I might add, Mr. Richardson, I admire your strength, both the physical aspects and the mental aspects. It sounds like you're in a good spot. You're thinking this through well. You're doing the right things. We are proud of you, sir, for that. And thank you for your service. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
All right, wonderful. I need everyone in the courtroom to join me in thanking Mr. Richardson for his service in the armed services as a part of the Army. Thank you for putting on the uniform. We
Thank you, ma'am.
appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Absolutely, your selfless service. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Richardson, if nothing else, I have you coming back to the virtual courtroom. That would be on November 24th, 2020 at 9:00 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be here, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. So good to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Continue the great work. Take good care of yourself and know that we're here if you need us, okay?
Ma'am, just one question before you leave.
Yes.
I like to know by, I don't want no conflict of interest. My doctor want me bedridden for these ribs. How do is it any other way I can communicate with the gentleman that I have to, my other caseworker that's there with you?
Miss Robs or Mr. Kushiri?
Mr. Kushiri.
All right.
Is there any kind of way I can communicate with him, ma'am?
Yes, and so Miss Robs, if you could make that connection where it's conducive for Mr. Richardson,
Yes,
that would be fine. But that should be able to happen through Zoom or a telephone call, right?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So Miss Robs will connect with you and make sure that the two of you and Mr. Richardson and Mr. Kushiri, connect so that you can
Yes,
get
ma'am.
the benefits and utilize the resources available through the VA.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
All right.
much, Your Honor.
Very good. Good to see you. Keep
All
up the
right.
great work. Thank you, Ms. Hall, for being with us. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you.
We have a blessed evening.
You too. Thank you. All right.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Who's calling me? Oh, I thought I heard someone say Your Honor. All right. I still have a docket. I still have, and I don't see people. So Ms. Drew, help me with this one. I have case number 1906161801 for Walter Brown. Is Mr. Brown in warrant status?
Walter Brown, I'm sorry, Judge. What docket do you, that he's not on my?
I have the one that Mr. Sanders printed off for me on yesterday.
Your Honor, if I may, he is in warrant status.
All right, wonderful. Confirm that for me, Ms. Drew.
Okay, I will right now.
All right, then I also have a Taiwan Bryant. Case number U530649919. Taiwan Bryant.
He did not appear.
Ma'am.
He didn't show up. Is that who? Who?
Are you looking up, which one are you looking up, Brown or Bryant?
Brian, that was set for a pre-trial today, and he didn't show up. He's not here.
I'm satisfied I've given him enough time to show up for his pre-trial. It says that it's Mr. Lamb, but I'm going to issue a warrant. Make sure you mark him as specialty court. I'm issuing a warrant, and that bond is set at $1,000. I'm sorry, that's group car. It's $500. I'm sorry, Ms. Drew. That would be $500 cash or surety with no reduction.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Brown is in warrant status, Judge.
is in warrant status. Okay,
Yes.
I have marked my sheet. They did tell me that in staffing. I just needed to confirm it. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I now have, so Mr. Bryant is going into warrant status as well. I have
Okay.
Crystal Lane, case number Z8060021. Miss Robs,
Your Honor, she was a face-to-face,
okay. The return to court date of,
November 24th, Your Honor, 2020.
wonderful, thank you. And she's well, she's doing well.
Yes, she is, Your Honor, all is well.
Wonderful. All right, thank you. I have James Marshall, Z8056821. That's for Mr. Griffin.
That was a face-to-face too, Your Honor.
It was. Did Mr. Griffin
Yes.
give you a return to court date?
Yes, Judge. And Mr. Marshall, next court date is December 8th.
December 8th, 2020 at 9:00 a.m. Thank you, Ms. Drew. I
You're welcome.
have Next, I have Catherine Mitchell, Z8058671. Ms. Mitchell was also a face-to-face. Do we have a return? I think she was. Was she a
Yes,
Yes, she was,
face-to-face?
Judge.
Okay. Do we have a
Mr.
return
Griffin.
to court date?
Yes, her next court date is December 1st.
December 1st, 2020 at 9:00 a.m. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
then I have Destiny Parker, 1904510801. What happened? Miss Parker is in warrant status. Is that correct, Miss Rob?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Drew, just confirm that in the system for me. And do
Okay.
you have any contact with her, Miss Rob?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear you. I apologize.
That's okay. I asked if you have you had any contact with Miss Walker?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
All right, and so I would like to make sure that the task force led by Captain Johnson, that they are aware that Ms. Parker is at home. She's not going anywhere.
Yes, Your
And,
Honor.
and she has an issue. She told us she has an issue. She told us she needs the help. And so I need them to go get her.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. But Ms. Drew, she is in warrant status. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I just double checked. Yes, she is.
All right. And then I have Beverly Porter, and I believe she's doing a face-to-face today. Is that correct? That's
I'm
what
sorry, Judge. What was that? You said Beverly Porter?
I'm sorry,
Kimberly.
Kimberly Porter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, case number Z8060571 for Kimberly Porter. And Ms. Rob, did you meet with Ms. Porter?
I can't meet with her, Your Honor, until 10:45 as she's in class.
That's right, she's teaching. And so what is the return to court date for Ms. Porter?
November 24th, Your Honor, 2020.
At 10:45?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. All right, wonderful. And those are all of the cases that I have on my docket today, Ms. Drew. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
Yes, I see a Kevin Larry on my docket. He was set for a pretrial for narcotic drugs violation.
Oh, Ms. Drew, Mr. Sanders should have put a dismissal in for,
Oh,
is it a
for
BMO
Mr.
ticket?
No, that's a different one, Judge.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Tell me that one again, Larry.
Kevin, yeah, Kevin Larry. He was set for a pretrial today.
And what's the
And the
charge?
case, the charge is narcotic and drug violation.
Judge, we looked at the ROA on that. It's a 2017 case, and we believe the reason why it was on your docket is because in 2017, it would have gone to community court because it was Southwest Detroit. But he didn't show up today.
He did not.
Probably a warrant should be issued, but if he did show up, it should be on the community court docket because it's Southwest Detroit.
All right, and if he would have showed up, I certainly would have transferred it without hesitation. So Ms.
Yes,
Drew,
sir.
you read his case number into the record for me?
Okay, his case number is U-379-24117.
All
And
right,
that's Kevin Larry. Mhm.
all right, and so he's not appeared, he's been given ample time to do so. Capias will issue, please stamp his ticket or indicate in the system that it is specialty court. The bond
Okay.
set at $500 cash or surety. Please indicate the individuals do not reduce the bond.
Okie dokie.
All right, wonderful. And so, Kevin Larry, was he also being arraigned in somebody else's courtroom today, Ms. Drew?
Let me check. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like it.
Then I must have him confused
No.
with someone else. All right, so the Capias will issue $500
Okay.
cash surety. Is there anything
No.
for the docket?
No, ma'am, that's a complete docket.